Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be exploring Tantra, and for this we'll be using Osho's The Book of Secrets. And in particular, we're going to be focusing on the Vigan-Bhairava Tantra. This is just part one of a multi-part exploration of this book, so consider this just the beginning. Be sure to check out the show notes for more resources on Osho and on Tantra.
Right away in chapter 1, we're thrown right into this deep conversation between Devi and Shiva, and Devi starts asking these really profound questions about the nature of reality.
Yeah, she really does. Oh, Shiva, what is your reality? What is this wonder-filled universe? It's like she's demanding answers from the universe itself.
And what makes Tantra so fascinating is that it's not just about intellectual understanding or philosophical debate. It's about direct experience. It's about transformation, not just information.
So it's not just like sitting around debating these concepts, but actually like experiencing them.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of just talking about what love is, you're diving headfirst into love, feeling it in all its depth and complexity. And that emphasis on experience is really highlighted by the book's use of the word technique.
Technique, that definitely makes it sound more hands-on.
Exactly. Tantra is all about practice. It's about using methods and techniques to experience truth directly.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, one thing that really stands out to me is how this book unfolds as this dialogue between Shiva and Devi. It's framed as this master-disciple relationship, but there's also this incredible intimacy there, almost like a lover-like dynamic.
And that dynamic is really important because it emphasizes the essential role of receptivity in the learning process. You know, it's not enough to just passively listen. You have to actively open yourself up, become a vessel ready to receive these teachings.
It makes you imagine yourself in Devi's position, face to face with Shiva, with this formless reality. The universe is like unveiling itself before you.
And it is through that encounter, through that transformative power of love, that the illusion of form starts to dissolve. The universe stops being this collection of separate objects and becomes this interconnected, wonder-filled tapestry.
And then Devi asks this really interesting question. What constitutes seed?
Such a potent question, right? It really forces us to confront the mystery of origins, like, where did it all begin? What's the driving force behind the universe's constant evolution and change?
It's interesting that she doesn't ask Shiva for a straight answer. She asks him to clarify her doubts. It's like she understands that the journey of seeking truth is as important as the destination.
Absolutely. And it also reveals the nature of the mind as doubt itself. Doubt isn't something to be eradicated or avoided. It's actually a catalyst for deeper inquiry. And by the way, if you're finding all this as mind-blowing as we are, be sure to check out the show notes. We've got a ton of amazing resources down there for you to explore.
Oh, for sure. I'm right there with you. My brain is basically wired to question everything. It's like one giant walking question mark.
Embrace that curiosity. It can be a powerful engine for growth. And what's so exciting is that this text offers 112 different techniques for transcending the limitations of the mind.
112. That's a lot of options.
And what's key is that Tantra is presented as a science. It's a set of principles and practices that are accessible to anyone, regardless of their background or their belief system.
So it's not about following a strict dogma, but about finding what works for you personally.
Exactly. It's about experimentation. It's about discovering your own unique path to truth. And that leads us to another intriguing aspect of Tantra. It's what's often called its amoral stance.
Amoral? That sounds kind of controversial.
It definitely challenges conventional thinking. You see, Tantra doesn't focus on preaching morality or imposing strict rules. Instead, it delves deeper. It addresses the underlying causes of behavior.
So instead of just telling someone, don't steal, you would explore the deeper need that might be driving that behavior.
Exactly. It's kind of like medicine. Medicine doesn't judge the patient. It aims to heal regardless of who the patient is or what they've done.
I like that analogy. Tantra as medicine for the soul.
And perhaps this unconventional amoral approach, along with its emphasis on direct experience, is why Tantra hasn't gained the same widespread recognition as some other spiritual traditions.
It definitely goes against the grain.
Yeah.
And I can see how its emphasis on pushing boundaries and challenging norms could lead to some misunderstanding or misinterpretations. But let's get back to those 112 techniques for a second. Are we going to be exploring all of them in this series?
We're going to try to delve into as many as we can, but the most important thing is that you as a listener approach them with an open mind and a sense of playfulness. Don't be afraid to experiment. See what sparks your own journey of discovery.
Playfulness. With something as profound as Tantra.
Absolutely. Remember, discovering what works for you is a process of exploration. And yeah, even play. Don't take it too seriously. If one technique doesn't resonate with you, move on to the next. The key is to enjoy the journey of self-discovery. And speaking of journeys, if you're feeling inspired to explore Tantra further, remember we've got all those fantastic resources linked in the show notes.
Yeah, that's a great reminder. There's a whole world of knowledge waiting to be explored. So are you ready to dive into the first of these techniques?
Let's do it.
Excellent. I can't wait to see where this journey takes us.
So are you ready to explore some of these techniques?
Absolutely. Let's unlock the secrets of Tantra.
Shiva's first technique is all about turning your attention inward. He tells Devi to close your senses and concentrate on the space between the eyebrows.
Oh, yeah, that sounds familiar. It's like the whole third eye concept that you find in a lot of spiritual traditions, right?
Exactly. Focusing on this point has been a key part of meditation practices across cultures, and it's often associated with heightened awareness and insight.
So by shutting out all those external distractions and focusing on this point, we're essentially shifting our attention inward.
Exactly. It's about withdrawing from the outer world and tuning into your inner landscape. Shiva goes on to say, Radiant One, this experience may dawn between two breaths after breath comes in, and just before turning back. The beneficence.
Okay, that's a little cryptic.
Yeah.
What's supposed to happen between breaths?
Shiva is pointing to this really subtle but profound experience, that moment of stillness between the inhale and the exhale, that pause. That's where you can get a glimpse of a deeper reality.
It's like catching a glimpse of this space between thoughts, that pure awareness that's always there but often gets drowned out by the mind's chatter.
Yes, exactly. It's a space of pure being beyond thought, beyond form. And it's accessible through mindful breathing. This technique, like many in Tantra, emphasizes the importance of working with the breath as a gateway to higher consciousness.
That's amazing how something as simple as breathing can be such a powerful tool for transformation. It makes you want to stop and just try it right now.
The next technique is just as interesting. Shiva suggests, when in such embrace, your senses are shaken as leaves enter this shaking.
Senses shaken as leaves. What does that even look like?
Okay, so imagine how leaves on a tree kind of rustle in a gentle breeze, right? There's this subtle vibration, this constant movement. And in the same way, our senses are constantly being bombarded with input, sights, sounds, smells, sensations. This technique is inviting you to become aware of that constant flow of sensory information without getting lost in it.
So it's about witnessing the dance of the senses without getting swept away by it.
Exactly. Cultivating a sense of detachment, observing the arising and passing of sensations without clinging or aversion.
This goes back to what we were talking about earlier about receptivity. A lot of these techniques seem to be about cultivating this deep sense of presence and openness to experience.
You're absolutely right. Receptivity is key. It's about being fully present in the moment, allowing yourself to be immersed in the flow of life without resistance. Speaking of receptivity, don't forget to check out the show notes for those of you who want to dive deeper into these ideas. There's a whole treasure trove of resources down there just waiting to be explored.
All right, I'm ready for the next challenge. What else does Shiva have in store for us?
Okay, he says, as senses are leaving the body experience, or as the mind is leaving experience.
Senses leaving the body, mind leaving. That sounds pretty intense, like some kind of out-of-body experience.
Well, it's not as literal as it might sound. What Shiva is pointing to here are those moments of deep absorption where the sense of self kind of dissolves. It could be during meditation or a creative flow, or even moments of intense passion.
So it's about surrendering to those moments where we lose ourselves, where the boundaries between self and others start to blur.
Exactly. By surrendering to those moments, you can tap into a deeper reality, a state of consciousness beyond ordinary perception.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. A lot of these techniques seem to be about finding those cracks in our everyday awareness, those moments where we can glimpse something more.
Yes, it's about expanding your capacity for experience, being present to the fullness of life in all its dimensions.
Okay, bring on the next technique. I'm ready to expand my awareness.
Shiva shifts the focus to sound now. He says, or in the beginning of sound, or in the end, or in the middle, realize.
Beginning, end, or middle of sound. What kind of sounds are we talking about here?
Any sound. The sound of birds chirping the traffic outside your own breath. The key is to give the sound your full attention, to become completely absorbed in it.
So it's like using sound as an anchor to bring your awareness into the present moment.
Exactly. By observing a sound, noticing its beginning, its end, and the space in between, you cultivate presence and awareness.
It's incredible how Tantra uses these everyday experiences as gateways to higher consciousness.
It's a reminder that spirituality isn't separate from life. It's woven into the fabric of every moment.
Yeah, as we're talking about these techniques, I'm realizing that a lot of them can be practiced throughout the day, not just during formal meditation.
Absolutely. You can practice mindfulness while you're washing dishes, walking, listening to music. It's about bringing that quality of awareness to every aspect of your life.
This is seriously making me want to pause the recording and try some of these techniques right now.
The exploration continues. Shiva's next suggestion is, like a hollow bamboo, resting at ease, feel the flow of breath in the nostrils.
The breath again. It seems like breath awareness is central to a lot of these techniques.
It is. The breath is this incredible bridge that connects us to our inner selves. Here, Shiva is inviting you to really feel the subtle sensations of the breath as it flows in and out.
The image of a hollow bamboo resting at ease is so vivid. It's about creating that spaciousness within, allowing the breath to flow effortlessly.
Exactly. Releasing tension, allowing yourself to rest in that natural rhythm of the breath.
It's like becoming an empty vessel, allowing the breath to fill you with life force energy.
Yes, it's about surrendering to that natural flow, that inherent wisdom of the body.
This is all so fascinating. I'm feeling more and more inspired to actually integrate these techniques into my daily life.
That's wonderful. Remember, these techniques are meant to be experienced, not just analyzed. And if you're feeling inspired to dive deeper, we've got some excellent resources linked in the show notes to guide you further.
That's a great reminder. There's a whole world of knowledge out there for those who are curious. So what's next on our Tantra adventure? What other gems does Shiva have to share?
Okay, he offers this really simple yet profound instruction. Or, whenever your mind is wandering internally or externally at this very place, this...
Oh man, that one hits home. Whenever your mind is wandering at this very place, my mind wanders like 1,000 times a day. But what exactly is this very place, this?
That's the core of meditation. This very place, this, is the present moment, the here and now. It's about bringing your awareness back to the present whenever you find your mind drifting off into the past or the future.
So it's like a gentle reminder to come back to the present moment, to anchor ourselves in the immediacy of experience.
Exactly. It's about cultivating mindfulness, being fully present in the now.
It's amazing how simple yet profound these techniques are. You don't need any special equipment or rituals. It's about shifting your perspective, cultivating awareness.
Exactly. It's about accessing the wisdom that's already within you, always available if you know how to tap into it.
I'm so grateful we're having this conversation. It's really opening up a whole new world of possibilities for me, and I bet our listeners are feeling the same way.
I hope so. It's a joy to be exploring these teachings with you. Are you ready for the next stage of our journey?
Bring it on. I'm eager to see where these techniques lead us next. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our exploration of Tantra, and I'm ready for more of those mind-bending techniques.
All right, let's shift gears a bit and explore some techniques that focus on perception. Shiva says, feel the cosmos as a translucent, ever-living presence.
Cosmos as a translucent, ever-living presence. That sounds beautiful. But how do we actually feel that? How do we cultivate that kind of perception?
Okay, imagine looking through a stained glass window, right? The light streams through, illuminating the colors and patterns, creating this sense of vibrancy. This technique is inviting you to see the world around you in a similar way, as imbued with this luminous, ever-changing energy.
So instead of just seeing the world as a bunch of static objects, it's about recognizing that dynamic, interconnected web of energy.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the aliveness, the interconnectedness of everything. And this shift in perception can really profoundly impact your experience of life.
It's like that feeling of awe you get when you're out in nature.
Yeah.
Sensing the energy of the earth pulsing through everything.
Exactly. And Tantra reminds us that this sense of wonder isn't limited to special places or experiences. It's accessible in every moment if you cultivate the awareness to perceive it.
Okay, give me another one of those perception-shifting techniques.
All right, here's a powerful one. In summer, when you see the entire sky endlessly clear, enter such clarity.
Enter such clarity. I live in a place where the sky is often pretty gray, but I've definitely experienced moments of that breathtaking clarity when I'm traveling. It's like you can see forever, and everything feels so sharp and defined.
And that sense of expansive clarity isn't limited to physical vision. It can also apply to your inner world, to your thoughts and emotions. Cultivate that same spaciousness and clarity within yourself.
Finding that inner stillness, that mental clarity where you can see things clearly without the cloudiness of doubt or confusion.
Yes, exactly. That clarity allows you to make wiser choices and respond to challenges with more grace.
It's like clearing away all that mental clutter, creating space for new insights to emerge.
Precisely. And sometimes clearing that clutter requires confronting our darker aspects. Shiva says, feel your substance, bones, flesh, blood saturated with the universe, or in the night before sleep, feel the inner emptiness as the source of all.
Feel the inner emptiness.
Yeah.
That sounds a little intimidating. Aren't we usually trying to fill the emptiness?
That's the common tendency, yeah. But Shiva is highlighting the transformative power of embracing the void. It's in that emptiness, that stillness, that we connect with the source of creation.
It's like that saying, you can't pour anything into a full cup. You need to create space, empty yourself in order to receive something new.
Exactly. That emptiness isn't a lack of something. It's a fullness, a potentiality from which everything arises.
Wow, that's a powerful shift in perspective. You know, I'm sensing a theme here. A lot of these techniques are about confronting our fears, our resistance to discomfort, and embracing the fullness of experience, both the light and the shadow.
You're getting it. Tantra encourages us to move beyond duality and embrace all aspects of ourselves and our experience. Maybe that's why it's been misunderstood or misrepresented at times. It challenges our comfort zones, our ideas of what spirituality should be.
It's definitely not a follow the rules and you'll be enlightened kind of path.
Not at all. It's about diving deep into your being, exploring uncharted territories within. And that requires courage, curiosity, a willingness to let go of how we think things should be. And as you embark on this journey of exploring Tantra, remember it's a process of experimentation and discovery. And if you're feeling ready to take the plunge, we've got a whole collection of resources waiting for you in the show notes.
Yeah, definitely check out those links. There's a wealth of information there.
Yeah.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation, and we've only just scratched the surface of Chapter 1.
There's so much more to uncover in the chapters ahead. Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep an open mind and a playful heart.
That's great advice. This has been a truly enriching conversation. So until next time, keep those senses open, keep that breath flowing, and keep that inner explorer ignited. We'll be back soon to uncover even more secrets of the Book of Secrets.